We are back. Thanks for staying with us. We are about to see a feature on the Lady of the Season, Pelumi Nubi. She was recently conferred the Lagos State Ambassador by the Lagos State Governor yesterday. Well, this feature doesn't focus on that, but it was about her arriving to Lagos over the weekend. Let's see it. Of course, Titi was there to cover it. Okay, so yes, well, while we're getting that ready, so yes, she was conferred, she was given a car and a house by the Lagos State Governor Sanwo-Olu yesterday, and it was a beautiful engagement. It was a beautiful ceremony. It was really, really beautiful to see. And well, while we are getting the feature ready, let's move over to our relationship discussion. Of course, we'll have the feature played later on. But yes, we have with us on the couch Olajumoke Olamiju. She's a peculiar lady, knowledge-seeking, impact-driven, and full of empathy. She's a professional mental health counselor from the Institute of Counseling, Nigeria. She's also a sexual purity advocate, and this morning we will be discussing understanding the dynamics of teenage behaviors. And the focus today is managing the emotions of your teenager as they begin dating. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to have you here.
Thank you.
This has been a beautiful series since the beginning, since its inception. We started the conversation last week on teen dating. And just so you know, your teen could actually be dating. Have you found out who you're dating? Well, so today we're talking about how to manage their emotions, both as individuals, as teens, and we as parents, guardians, how we can also help to manage their emotions. So let's talk to us about the different phases that teenagers experience while they're, struggling with, in that phase of, emotions,
Okay, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here.
Yes. There's a stage I want everyone to know that teenagers, their brain is not yet at a completed stage.
It's still developing.
It's still developing. And the last to develop is this prefrontal cortex. And that's the part that has to do with emotions and reasoning. So everyone should be in the know that you're dealing with somebody that's still growing, that cannot manage emotions yet. Yeah. So they have series of emotion, like they are at a point in time at their discovery stage. They don't know themselves, they don't know what they want to do yet. They are still trying to navigate. It's an emotional thing for them. They don't get it yet. So I normally advise that parents, educators, guardians, and counselors should be there to guide them, not to, there's something that I know that normally happens, like the moment a child is growing to adolescent, there's this, you're going to become stubborn, I'm ready for you.
You already expect them to be rebellious.
Yes, that shouldn't be our attitude.
Okay.
Our attitude is how to really understand those teenagers and how we can help them navigate through life. So there's a discovery stage, trying to discover themselves. And like I said also last week, there's a stage of exploration. They want to explore. They want to see what it's even. At times they want to feel what it means to be an adult, even though they are not adults yet. So we must know the stages and know how to relate with them. The first way I would say you want to relate with a teenager himself must get to the stage of self-identity. Like identify yourself. Identify the emotions that you're going through. Is it anger? Is it something sexual? Once you can identify them, we can go to managing it. But one thing that is very peculiar because of the adolescent stage is that their hormones changes, so they have issues with sexual emotions, and they want to explore, they want to experiment with it. But that shouldn't be the reaction.
Okay.
I get a lot of it's not fair. like, why can't we have sex at this stage?
At this age.
Somebody told me that God is not even fair. Why did they put the hormones in us?
them.
Why is it running and all? You know, what I advise them to do is that these hormones are real. We can't
Run away from them.
Yes, we can't shy away from the fact.
Right.
But as real as they are, God in His mercy also have put some check and balance into them to really manage it. Understand how you're feeling. I tell them you're not abnormal. You're not a bad child. But what really determines how you manage it is what you feed it with.
Let's talk about the sort of conversations that they're having within themselves. Because they're having these conversations.
Yes, of course.
If they're not having it with their parents, they're having it with
Their
friends at school, they're having it with maybe some adults somewhere.
Okay.
And if they do not have the right information, they would be feeding them, you know, on all the wrong things. And it is with that same information that they're going to run with and they're going to function with.
Yeah.
So as a parent, how do we help to bridge this gap regarding the sort of conversations they are having, you know, and they're listening to, even from on social media? There's a lot of information on social media, and these children are curious at that age. So how do we help to, you know, sort of navigate those conversations in a way that it doesn't harm them?
Okay, what I advise is that parents must first of all be open to any sort of communication, no matter how weird it might sound at that time. Parents should make themselves available. And I say, if you as a parent are sincere enough, okay, I can come in this place, please do well to get a therapist.
Okay.
Yes, you can seek the help of a therapist to help the child because they're already discussing these things in school, and some of their friends are already experimenting. If you can't take the pain of learning how to communicate with your child, there are some skilled professionals
that will help to
that
do
will
that
help
for
through.
you.
So you can seek their counsel.
Now let's talk about a teen who wants to lose her virginity or his virginity, because when it comes, the issue of virginity always falls more on the focus is usually on the girl child than the boy child. But well, both sexes actually lose their virginity. So how do we begin to have this conversation about it, where, you know, she's in a circle of friends whose virginities who have lost theirs, and she feels like the odd one out, or he feels like the odd one out? How, as a parent, how do you have this conversation? How do you begin to have this conversation with them?
Okay, before I answer that question, I think that the voice of the virgins or those that advocate of sexual purity should be louder. Yes, it should be louder, because the truth is that these things are fading, and a normal teenager now sees him or herself as the odd one out, like I've not tried it out. So as a parent and as a society, we should make it loud. As a parent, tell your child that this is not for you at this stage, you know, and they're like, mommy, as in you're old school. No, this is not for you at this stage.
What age is appropriate for them to lose their virginity?
Actually, there's, like I said, like when you were reading about me, I'm a sexual purity advocate.
Yeah.
I advocate sex in marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what age should be appropriate?
Like I said it now, I said the appropriate age for sex to me is sex in marriage.
Sex in marriage?
Yes.
Okay.
Because of the designer of sex.
Of sex,
Yes.
which is the institution that, you know, that protects it and that preaches.
Yeah, I mean the designer of sex, the person that brought sex, God.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, this conversation isn't over yet. We'll still have more of this conversation, but thank you for, you know, introducing it, because a lot of people, a lot of parents right now really do not have this information.
Okay.
And at least now they've learned so much from this conversation, and we'll continue next week, of course.
Really?
Great?
Okay.
Fantastic. Thank you.
All right.
Once again.
Thank you
and
for having
on that note, the relationship segment is over. We have to move over to our feature. Remember, I talked about Balumi Nubi, who arrived Lagos from London over the weekend. Here's a feature on her.